video is going to be covering dynamic and static stretching. Dynamic means going through repetition and just keeping it moving and flowing. Static is when you hold a stretch. And the American College of Sports Medicine, ACSM, their guidelines for static stretching is to hold the position for about 10 to 30 seconds. Whereas dynamic stretching, the longest you would hold is 10 seconds or less. And so dynamic gets your blood flowing and it helps you to check in with maybe where you're holding tension. Dynamic is also the type of stretching that you would do prior to maybe a weight training or a cardio type workout. Whereas static stretching you want to save after you're warmed up and maybe toward the end of a session, okay? So they complement each other, but they are also for very specific time periods during your exercise regime, okay? So let's begin. We're gonna get warmed up simply by standing up. If you are working on a mat for this first component, you can be at the back of your mat. We also wanna focus on our breathing. So we're gonna have soft knees. You're gonna take a breath up, reach tall, and we're gonna exhale and just kind of release down the body. Keep the knees bent because your hands need to go to the floor. You're gonna walk your hands out until you're onto a plank position. Let your knees lower down. Press your body to the ground all the way through. Now, dig your toes into the floor. Push yourself back up. From here, you're gonna push your hips up into the air and you're gonna walk your hands towards your feet and keeping more of a flat back here. Let your hands come to your shins, maybe belly button in. Inhale up. That's one round. Exhale, roll all the way down. Bend your knees so your hands can find the floor, walking them out, keeping as straight a line as possible. Let your hips go below the shoulders, touch your knees to the floor, lower down through the arms, and then press up. Lift your knees off the ground, push your hips up tall, and then bend your knees as you walk your hands a straight line with your body back in. Look forward to extend your spine. Inhale, reach up. Let's roll through that one more time. I just call this a walkout. Now this time, see if you can hold your full plank without touching your knees down and lower the whole body as one unit. That means you're also going to try to press your whole body off the floor as one unit, like a hydraulic lifting an automobile. Lift the hips up, pause for a few seconds there, bend your knees and walk your hands towards your feet. Come up to more of a flat back position. Inhale, lift it up, and exhale the arms out wide. So I just call that a walkout to a plank. You end up doing a little push down and up into a V position. In yoga, we will call that a downward facing dog. But again, it was dynamic. We didn't hold anything. The next position that I like to do is a half cat dog or cat-cow stretch. So you're gonna place the hands on the thighs, above the knees, shoulders down and back. You wanna exhale, starting from your hips, round through the spine, tuck your chin. Inhale and release that back down. Good. Exhale, tuck and round upward. Inhale, extend it down. And do that again. Exhale, tuck and round up. You should be looking at your thighs when you're done. Inhale and then looking forward. And one more time. Exhale, hips, mid-back, neck and chin. Inhale and lengthen. Good. And then from there, extend all the way up and exhale it out. Very good. Now, since we've done flexion extension of the spinal column, we're now ready to do lateral flexion and some rotation on the spine. So let's do lateral flexion first. Knees are soft, pull the belly in, and just ease it out side to side. So this is gonna stretch out what we call the side body. Contains your oblique muscles, your latissimus dorsi muscles there, a little bit of your internal obliques. Good, and then just roll it around, keeping the knees soft. Whatever range of motion feels comfortable. So we're just loosening up the spine and the lower back. Inhale, exhale. Good, just loosen it up and come back to neutral. Now you can do that with the hips too. A few little hip circles, keeping the knees soft. And reverse, around and around. Excellent. Now what I like to do on rotation is also what I call a spiral. So I want you to look down at your feet. You're going to rotate your right foot and your left foot back and forth. Now notice that if the pivot point starts from the floor, moves up through the hips, And then start to let your ribs move and let your arms just kind of flop around the body like that. So your hands actually just kind of flop around and almost hit you, but not hard. Okay. Now bring the arms up parallel to the floor. So you'll start to notice that your shoulders and your chest begin to stretch a little bit. Again, it's dynamic stretching, nothing is held. Now, just kind of bring the arms up high, swing around the behind, and you'll feel this a little bit more again in the chest shoulder area. And then as you let the arms fall, you get kind of between the mid-back, and then all the way down, quadratus lumborum, the low back muscles, and just let it come to a stop. Beautiful. Okay, so to warm up the legs a little bit prior to static stretching, we're going to do some reverse lunges. So if you're on a mat, step forward on it, and you're going to step back with your right leg, and do not touch the knee to the floor. Want to avoid that habit, and come back in. And then the left leg, step it backward and come in. So this is going to stretch your hip flexor, your quadricep area. If you're barefoot, you'll feel it really nicely in the sole of your foot. Your arch muscles get stretched. Now, if we want to add a little bit of abdominal and chest, shoulders, we can throw the arms up. Inhale and exhale. So you're just opening the body. Good. Keep breathing. So this is all dynamic stretching. And the word stretching, or really the word flexibility, means range of motion around a joint. So we're opening up your range of motion right now. Last time, left leg back and in. Beautiful, okay? Now come back to neutral. Now we're also going to get a lot of blood flow going through the back and the abs, okay? So you're gonna bring your arms up nice and tall. I want you to pull your right knee into your chest, just hug it, lean a little bit into it, and then inhale, extend up, left leg, hug it to your chest, inhale it up, and right leg, hug it to your chest, good. So this is a really nice dynamic stretch for the lower back, and you're engaging your abdomen, good, using your lats and your deltoids, on the way down and all the way up. Keep the blood flowing, keep the breath going. How about one more on each leg? Awesome, okay? And now for the longer muscles, like especially the hamstring muscles, little stretch there, we're gonna simply do a leg swing. So I'm gonna turn a little bit sideways, and you're gonna swing that right leg front to back. Notice that I'm using my arms also, okay? So just swinging front to back. You'll often see runners do this exercise before and after they run. Good. Let's change sides, flip it around. Also challenges your balance, which is great. So pull everything in and up, and then swing that left leg front to back. And I just have my foot dorsiflex, toes up. If you go toes down, you might end up dragging your toes on the floor, okay? Good. And then bring it in. Another really good dynamic type stretch, a warm-up stretch, is to do leg circles or rotations. So we're going to soften your left leg, okay? Put your hands on your hips, and you're just going to do little circles with the right leg. So you're circling from that hip joint. And then reverse direction. If you needed to, you could hold onto the wall, okay, or a chair for balance, okay? Let's change legs to the other side. And reverse. Very nice. And down. And then we don't want to forget about our lower legs either. So previously we were lunging back, and the lunge meant your knee was bent, right? So now we're going to step back with the leg straight. So I'm going to turn a little bit sideways so you can see. If I step my right leg back, the leg is straight back there, and then step together. And then the left leg, the leg is straight. So the goal here is to start to stretch the calf muscles, gastrocnemius. I'm going to bring the arms up, so do that with me. Inhale, straight back. Exhale, step together. Left leg. Good. Right leg. Inhale. Exhale. Left leg. Beautiful. Right leg. And left leg. Good. And now stretching your feet. So roll up through the ball of your foot. Heel up and down. And if you keep your knees bent, as I'm showing, you'll stretch the arch muscles, okay? Now I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. You're going to stretch the top of your foot. So go toenails down and wiggle out from left to right. So you go little toe, big toe, okay? And then then just circle. And if you need to, you can put the foot on the floor. Circle the ankle, reverse direction. Good. Other side. So you're going to go toenails down and just go across all 5 toes. Little toe to big toe. So this stretches the top of the foot and a little bit of your shin. Balance if you want, or toe down and circle. Reverse. Good. And last is literally for your toes and your arch muscles. So think of how a cat will need, it'll need your leg, or it needs, yeah? So your toes and your fingers, we're gonna knead. So this works through the wrist joint, which is really great if you're working on computers a lot, and it just loosens up and strengthens. But I'm also going for those toes. It's like you're gripping the floor. You're trying to pick blades of grass with your toes, okay? And then toes and fingers up, down, tuck them under, relax. Toes and fingers up, center, tuck under. One more time, toes and fingers up, center, tuck under. Shake it off. Okay, so you may have noticed that I do have a belt. So any type of belt or rope or a long towel, anything like that will work as a stretch strap. All right, so we're gonna do a few things with the upper body. I'm gonna step back a little bit so you can see as my arms rise up. You're gonna take your belt, your knees are soft, shoulders back and down. You're gonna take your belt and you're gonna raise it up above your head. Now, if you've ever dislocated a shoulder joint, please be very careful of your range of motion. How far back you go, that's gonna be, a stopping point if you have pain. So if you can go behind your head, do it, and then over your head again. So that's what we're doing. It's just behind the head and back to neutral. Now as you go, make sure you're not like arching your back. Just keep everything nice and neutral, tucked in under. Knees soft is always a good practice here. Good. So you're just finding what we'll call your stretch point for the static stretch. Try not to overgrip the belt because that can make your hands start to go tingly or numb. And just reaching the belt behind your head. And you can pull wide, like snug up on that belt. Press your chest forward. So now there may be a little bit of an arch of the spine. Lift up. Still keep your knees soft. So this is a wonderful stretch for the pec muscles, the pectoralis, and the deltoid muscles. The anterior section there in the front of the body. And then slowly release and bring it down. And just let that blood flow back through those shoulders, okay? Now, you don't need the strap quite as long, so if you have a really long one, just double it up. Place it behind your body, and just place your palms inward, like thumbs against your hips. And what you're gonna do here is soften the knees, tuck the tailbone under, belly in, and you're gonna lift away and back in. So press away and back in, away and back in. And so again, we're just promoting some blood flow. This is the dynamic stretch preceding the static. So on the static stretch, you're just gonna push away. Now what happens is the head will start to drop. So keep your gaze focused forward, and so that you don't hunch in it. So chest broad, lift away, and again, you can pull apart. And you may stretch your bicep muscles and your deltoids again. You're also it's very nicely toning your mid-back. You have to contract your back muscles to broaden your arms and shoulders. And then slowly relax. Good. Roll it out. Okay, the next stretch, it's going to be dynamic first and then static. I'm going to turn my back on you. Put the strap in one hand and find it in the other on the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to face you again. So all you're going to do is straighten the top arm and the bottom one will bend, and then reverse it. Straighten the bottom one and the top one will bend. Now bring the top arm right in next to your ear, okay? And keep it posted there. Keep your head straight up. So it's not because you tilted your head. Keep your head straight up and just up and down, just like that, up and down. So a little bit of tension, yes. So this is good for the tricep muscles, but we're also going to stretch your bottom shoulder. So drop your top hand, find the back of your neck and hold it there. Now take your bottom hand, slide it up, grip, pull it up, get it up there between your shoulder blades. Now if you want to, you can slide the strap down. Now if you can grip your fingers, then by all means grip them. But if you cannot grip your fingers, that is what this strap is for. So hold it there. And again, you want your head upright, your elbow close to your ear, and it's the bottom shoulder. So kind of roll it down and back. That's the one you're stretching. Yes. Oh, now very slowly, let it go. Let it just slide on down. Slide on down. Shake it off. Okay, we're gonna switch sides. So just put the strap on top in the other hand, reach around, find the bottom again, and pull down, lift up, pull down, lift up, pull down, lift up. Yeah, okay? So go ahead and drop that hand and slide the other one up. And now grip firmly, grip, pull it up, wiggle it between your shoulder blades, slide down again, and what did I tell you before? If you can reach your fingers together, then by all means grip them. If you cannot, that is what this strap is for. So you just hold, stay upright with your head, okay? Your elbow's not close because you're leaning it. Head is neutral, elbows up, bottom shoulder, roll it back and down, pull a little bit more. Oftentimes, the arm that's dominant will be more difficult to get up between those shoulder blades, okay? It's stronger and it's tighter. So that is the balancing act that flexibility training provides us. Relax that arm, let it just slide down. Oh, yes, shake it off. Well done. So that was some nice upper body stretching. So we're gonna take it down to the floor and use the strap on the floor. Now I'm just gonna turn my mat a little bit sideways so it's easier for you to see what's happening with my legs. So have a seat. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna place the strap around the ball of one foot. So I'll just end using my right foot, okay? You're gonna keep the left leg bent. You're gonna lie on back down. While you're on the floor, relax your leg a little bit, let it straighten out, and then begin to raise it up. Exhale as you do that, and then inhale and lower it down. Exhale as you raise it, inhale, lower it down. Exhale it up, inhale it down. So once again, this is the dynamic action. Make that breath work for you. And then hold it up there. Just slide your hand up. Try to have your neck relaxed. And see if you can get that knee to go straight. Not everybody can. So what we're looking for here is a stretch in the back of the thigh. That's your hamstring muscle group. And if you can straighten the knee, it can help. Feel it. Also pull your toes toward your nose. Press your heel up toward the ceiling, okay? And if you have the leg straight and the toes to your nose and heel to the ceiling, if you like, then straighten the opposite leg. This will keep your pelvis level, but just make sure it doesn't bother your lower back, okay? We want your lower back to be comfortable. If it does hurt your lower back or cause pinching, just bend the other knee again, okay? And if you can go a little bit deeper, great. Now here's the key, listen carefully. If you have burning, like especially at the top of where the muscle is connecting at the joint or at the bone area, if there's burning there, that's bad news. You cannot stretch through that. So back off a little bit. So I'm gonna back off a tiny bit and the burning goes away. So what that is a clue to is that there's maybe been some tendon damage there, which yes, I've done that before. And so you wanna be really careful about that because you can make it worse. Now, bring the other leg up and drop the other foot out, okay? So lower it to the floor. Start where we started before, leg is long. Try to straighten the knee. Exhale, lift it up. Inhale, lower it down. Exhale it up. Inhale it down. Breathe it out. So breathing is really important during stretching, okay? It sends oxygen into your bloodstream and helps feed your muscles. Now hold that leg up there and check yourself. Can you get the knee straight? Can you press the heel toward the ceiling and arc your toes toward your nose, okay? Try to relax your neck and your chest and pull the leg as close as you can without a burning sensation. And if you're able to, lengthen the opposite side. What else happens during stretching or static stretching, specifically static, is people will experience the muscles shaking, okay? So burning is one sensation. Shaking is another. That is another sign that your muscles can be fatiguing. Could be from the activity you did prior. You could be stretching too deeply. You could be dehydrated. So really it's your central nervous system sending you some signals. So you can back off a little bit, and when the shaking goes away, that's a good sign that you're more in kind of the zone of a good stretch. All right, now we're gonna come up out of this. You're gonna bend both your knees, remove this strap, and just slowly roll yourself up, okay? So we're gonna do a stretch for the glute muscles, and who doesn't like that? So glute muscles, we use them when we do squats and all kinds of things. So to get this one, we're gonna take the ankle up on the thigh. You can lean back on your hands, and we're gonna do some movement. We're just gonna rock it back and forth a little bit, but rocking back and forth. Okay, and then I'm gonna have you just lie on down and brace your belly because you're gonna lift the legs. Lift them up, good. And now do circles, circles. So this actually engages your core muscles quite a bit when you do these. Reverse direction, but it also will loosen up the hips and pausing. Now try not to use your arms up. So see what your legs can do on their own. Press your legs toward your body. Press, press, press. So really what you're doing is you're using the opposite leg, like that thigh, to get the stretch in the right side. And then if you need more stretch, you're gonna pull it in closer. You have a lot of options here. You can place the hands on the back of the bottom leg there, on the knee. Now some people are just really flexible in the hips and they're able to just pull like over the top, okay? So I'm not quite there, but I feel a good stretch right here. So gluteus maximus is that bottom glute area or buttock area. You may also feel this on the inner thigh, and another option is you can push the knee away. So that's just a little pressure on the femur bone, okay? And then slowly release, bring it in, set it down. So now we're gonna do the other side. I'm gonna flip around so you can see better. So on this other side, just bring that ankle up. And actually we started sitting up. So you can sit all the way up right here and just rock a little bit side to side, okay? So it's kind of like just communicating with your muscles saying, hey, guess what? We're just kind of messing with you right now. We're getting that blood flowing. We're letting you know the position you're gonna be in. So it's a little rehearsal, that dynamic stretch. I'm gonna lie on down. Engage your abdomen. You want some support from there. Lift your legs up, and now do some circles. Yeah, so notice the legs are circling. It's not the foot, it's not the knee, it's everything. Reverse direction, and you will feel this working in your obliques. So that's the thing about dynamic stretching, is it gives you some toning exercises essentially. And now press in without hands, no hands yet. Press in, feel it, and now go ahead and grab the leg, pull it in a little bit closer, shoulders back and down, chin tucked. If you can pull up on the knee, that goes a little bit closer to you. Dorsiflex your foot, that gives you a little bit more stability through the shin and the knee and the ankle. There's all these little tips that you can add in, all these extra little things you can be doing. And slowly release, uncross the legs, and let's roll it up. Now we're gonna finish with this stretching set with a quad stretch. So you're gonna lean sideways. What happens when people go on their side is sometimes they just collapse. We wanna avoid that. So pull the ribs up, stabilize your elbow right under your shoulder, and grab the top ankle. Bring the bottom foot forward, and then swing that top leg behind you. It's not so much that you need to push your heel into your buttock. So just getting it close is fine, and literally tuck. It's like you're resisting. Tuck your tailbone toward the front. Good. And you can also push your foot into your hand. Okay. So notice that there is some separation there between the legs, like you're trying to do the side splits. Good. And then slowly relax, let that go. Come on up, switch sides. So the bottom leg is forward, you grab the ankle, line everything up, pull the ribs up and away, shoulders back, and just slowly moving the leg back. So we're just going right into finishing with a static stretch here. So again, same idea, tuck the tailbone, press your foot into your hand, and broaden and push the chest forward. Good. Breathing in, breathing out. One more time, deep breath in, deep breath out. Beautiful. Release that leg. Good. Sit up nice and tall. We'll finish with a nice extension forward bend. So legs are long. Point your toes up. Wiggle back and forth on your sit bones. And slowly reach those hands toward those ankles. Tuck your chin. When you're in a forward bend like this, you want to breathe into your back. So expand your back. And relax. Stretch deeper. Now this time look up. Inhale, sit halfway up. Exhale, all the way down. Inhale, sit halfway up. So even within a static stretch, we can do some subtle movement. And we're moving on the breath. Exhale, a little bit deeper. Inhale. Last time, exhale. Release it down. Inhale, come all the way up. Take a breath, reach overhead. And exhale, let it go. All right, thank you so much for joining me for dynamic and static stretching.